it might be time to start to reassess the terms we use to describe what we're watching. So when I started at Heritage, the presumption was, and this is a very Anglo-American assumption, that the debates we're having are kind of rational debates about the way to get to mutually agreed upon outcomes. Right? So like we all want the country to be more prosperous and free and people to be less oppressed or whatever, and so we're going to argue about tax rates, and I think higher tax gets us there. I'm a Keynesian, and you disagree, you're an Austrian or whatever. But the objective is the same. And so we write our papers, and they write their papers, and may the best papers win. I don't think that's what we're watching now at all. I don't think we're watching a debate over how to get to the best outcome. I think that's completely wrong. And I've come to this conclusion, and I should say at the outset I'm an Episcopalian, so don't take any theological advice from me, because I don't have any. I grew up in the shallowest faith tradition that's ever been invented. It's not even a Christian religion at this point, I say with shame. But I'm just saying this as an observer of what's going on. There is no way to assess, say, the transgenderist movement with that mindset. Policy papers don't account for it at all. If you have people who are saying, I have an idea, let's castrate the next generation. Let's sexually mutilate children. I'm sorry, that's not a political debate. What? It has nothing to do with politics. What's the outcome we're desiring here? An androgynous population? Is that really what are we arguing for that? I don't think anyone could defend that as a positive outcome. But the weight of the government and a lot of corporate interests are behind that. Well, what is that? Well, it's irrational. If you say, well, I think abortion is always bad, well, I think sometimes it's necessary, that's a debate I'm familiar with. But if you're telling me that abortion is a positive good, what are you saying? Well, you're arguing for child sacrifice, obviously. It's not about a teen girl gets pregnant and what do we do about that and victims of rape. I get it. Of course I understand that, and I have compassion for everyone involved. But when the Treasury Secretary stands up and says, you know what you can do to help the economy? Get an abortion. Well, that's like an Aztec principle, actually. There's not a society in history that didn't practice human sacrifice. Not one. I checked. Even the Scandinavians, I'm ashamed to say. It wasn't just the Mesoamericans, it was everybody. So that's what that is. Well, what's the point of child sacrifice? Well, there's no policy goal entwined with that. No, that's a theological phenomenon. And that's kind of the point I'm making. None of this makes sense in conventional political terms. When people or crowds of people, or the largest crowd of people at all, which is the federal government, the largest human organization in human history, decide that the goal is to destroy things, destruction for its own sake. Hey, let's tear it down. What you're watching is not a political movement, it's evil. So if you want to assess, and I'll put it in I'll stop with this. I'll put it in non-political, non-specific theological terms, and just say, if you want to know what's evil and what's good, what are the characteristics of those? And by the way, I think the Athenians would have agreed with this. This is not necessarily just a Christian notion. This is kind of I would say, widely agreed upon understanding of good and evil. What are its products? What do these two conditions produce? Well, good is characterized by order, calmness, tranquility, peace, whatever you want to call it, lack of conflict, cleanliness. Cleanliness is next to godliness. It's true. It is. And evil is characterized by their opposites. Violence, hate, disorder, division, disorganization, and filth. So if you are all in on the things that produce the latter basket of outcomes, what you're really advocating for is evil. That's just true. I'm not calling for a religious war, far from it. I'm merely calling for an acknowledgement of what we're watching, which is not one, and I'm certainly not backing the Republican Party. I'm not making a partisan point at all. I'm just noting what's super obvious. Those of us who are in our mid-50s are caught in the past in the way that we think about this. One side's like, no, I've got this idea, And we've got this idea, let's have a debate about our ideas. They don't want a debate. Those ideas won't produce outcomes that any rational person would want under any circumstances. Those are manifestations of some larger force acting upon us. It's just so obvious. It's completely obvious. And I think two things. One, we should say that and stop engaging in these totally fraudulent debates where we are using the terms that we used in 1991 when I started at Heritage, as if maybe, I could just win the debate if I marshaled more facts. I've tried that, doesn't work. And two, maybe we should all take just like 10 minutes a day to say a prayer about it. I'm serious. Like, why not? And I'm saying that to you not as some kind of evangelist. I'm literally saying that to you as an Episcopalian. The Samaritans of our time. I'm coming to you from the most humble and lowly theological position you can. I'm literally an Episcopalian, okay? And even I have concluded it might be worth taking just 10 minutes out of your busy schedule to say a prayer for the future, and I hope you will.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. The most important speech Tucker Carlson's ever given. I said that was the most important thing that Tucker Carlson has ever said. That clip from the Heritage Foundation's 50th anniversary gala. Here is the event page here for Tucker Carlson's speech. Ladies and gentlemen, I tweeted it, and I tweeted it last night. This has now 3 million views. These are the most important words Tucker Carlson has ever spoken. Listen to this. Little did I know that Tucker Carlson would not have his program on Fox News just hours later. This tweet did numbers: 11,000 retweets, 37,000 likes, 5,000 plus bookmarks. Now more than ever. Because now we know that what Tucker Carlson was up against was actual evil. Tucker Carlson, up against actual evil. The evil that he spoke about. There. This is precisely why Tucker Carlson was fired, or had his contract not renewed, or was pushed out. This is a murder-suicide by possibly the dumbest people in news, because Tucker Carlson is a cultural figure. He's bigger than his time slot. He's bigger than the glossy, expensive promotional advertisements that you can run against him. He's bigger than Fox News. Tucker Carlson is a seminal figure in American culture, and it's speeches like this, now that we know what we know about Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson, of course, knew this at this moment. Tucker Carlson knew when he was giving this speech that his show was over at Fox. And so he chose to speak in terms of spirituality and religion. Ladies and gentlemen, now people are calling for him to run for president. And now that speech starts to have strange resonance as it pertains to Tucker Carlson potentially running for president. Will Tucker Carlson run for president? Speculation is mounting from his friends and political operatives. He'd be a formidable candidate and upset the Republican primary overnight. Of course he would. Tucker for president? Social media is buzzing. Now, this is from Tucker Carlson's old website, published by someone who has editorial ties, of course, to Tucker Carlson himself, because he's a politics reporter at Tucker's old site. Wow. Speculation mounts. Will Tucker Carlson be running for president in 2024? Stephen Miller tweets he's running. A bunch of people are saying he may. Ladies and gentlemen, Tucker Carlson was asked directly if he would run for president in 2024, one like this.
Ambitions. There are friends of yours, to the extent you've still got them in Washington, who are talking about your running for president in 2024, and I'm curious what your thought process is around that.
I have zero ambition, not just politically, but in life. My ambition is to write my script, by 8 p.m., and I'm not just saying that. Ask anyone who works with me or knows me. I don't think that way. I don't want power. I've never wanted power. I'm annoyed by things. I want them to change, but I've never been motivated by a desire to control people. I despise the libertarians, but my instincts are almost all libertarian in that way, and that's true.
So you're not running?
I'm not running. I
don't want to belabor that one.
I'm a talk show host, and I enjoy my job, by the way.
Okay, well, but what if he wasn't doing a show? Tucker Carlson giving a heartfelt religious plea for the salvation of America on the eve of him losing the show that he said would keep him from public life. And then talking about his motivation is to change life for the better here in America. Tucker Carlson 2024 is what Tim Pool tweets. Tucker 2024 is what Joel Fisher says. And Jeremy Boring from the Daily Wire saying the most important voice on the right just left the biggest media company on the right. Whatever Tucker Carlson does, he'll succeed. If that something is running for president, the entire game just changed. Wow. I think the game has done changed. But here's something that we know for absolute and total certain, and is something that I think is really near and dear to my heart, because Tucker Carlson took a lot of slings and arrows for people, including me. People did not watch Tucker Carlson's show because of Fox News. They didn't watch his show because of the coveted 8 p.m. time slot. People didn't watch Tucker because of the glossy ad campaigns. People watch Tucker because they're starving for truth, and they will follow Tucker anywhere. And this has 25,000 retweets, and I just tweeted it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Tucker Carlson, what will happen next? We wait and see. It's your boy Benny, fighting to save America, along with you. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya. Thank you for watching. Our channel is here to meme the libs until they cry, and then to meme them crying. Their tears, they taste just like sweet, delicious ice cream. Salty, too. We ridicule the establishment and the libs because of you. Your support keeps us going. So if you like what you saw, please punch the subscribe button, click like, and ring the little bell so that you know when we're live. Don't you want to know when we're live? And make sure that you subscribe to our email list, just in case the plug gets pulled, as tends to happen. If you want to see more of our videos, click here or here. My name is Benny Johnson. Stay free, base patriots.